So now, very important, very good morning, guys. How are you guys doing today? Well, it's morning right now, so good morning to all of you guys. Welcome to yet again another video. You are at Life as Is, because we need to enjoy life exactly the way that it is. We have to make the best out of everything, right? So today the video is basically going to be about how do we answer NCLEX RN questions. What are the rules? Well, I have 3 rules that are going to help you answer the NCLEX RN questions without making any mistakes. I'm telling you, you apply these 3 rules, you're going to pass the NCLEX RN. But before you apply these rules, you need to tell yourself, I am going to be positive and I am going to pass this test today. You need to be positive. That's the number one thing before anything else. Before you apply any rules, you need to be positive. You need to attract positivity into your life. Because when you're positive, guess what? Everything else around you becomes what? Positive. So the first rule, you guys, the first rule is confidence. Let me tell you, confidence can take you a long way in life. Not just with the NCLEX RN, but also with anything else in life. If you are confident and you tell yourself, I can do this because I am capable of doing this, because I am worthy of doing this, because I deserve this, it already gives you the platform to succeed. So the number one rule is confidence. The next rule is collective memory. Collective memory. Why do I say this? Because many of us take hours and hours and hours on end when we get to the NCLEX time where we have to prepare and go back and study adult nursing 1, adult nursing 2, pharmacology, mental health, and we start opening up all of our notes and waste hours and hours and hours on end trying to study every single page in the notes. I'm not saying not to open them at all, but what I'm saying is do not waste your time by going back from chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4 of each one of these courses, because you're going to waste your time. You are really going to waste your time. So that's why I say collective memory. Whatever you have already achieved, whatever you've already gained within those classes, you've already passed the test now. So that means you already know what's important for you to go out there and become a nurse from these classes. Don't waste your time trying to go back and reread everything, unless obviously there is something really specific that you can't quite understand and you really need to understand that before you can pass something. Maybe it's a specific topic, maybe it's blood gases, maybe it's like some type of medication calculation and you need to understand the formula. That's okay. But what I mean is don't go back and try to memorize material that you already have that information. If you made it to where you can sit for the NCLEX RN, that collective memory should help you to be one of the things that will help you pass the NCLEX RN. So listen to me very carefully. Collective memory from what you already know it. Confidence. Have the confidence that you can pass. Have the confidence that you are already a nurse, because guess what? If you've passed all of those classes, you are a nurse. You just need to go and take the test so you can hold certificate and enter building to do your nursing or do whatever type of nursing you decide to do. That's all that it is, right? That's my African accent, guys. Let's return to the other accent. So now, after these 2 rules that I presented to you, is your judgment. Your judgment in everything that you do in life. Your judgment is very, 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 you see my facial expression? I mean it, very important. Your judgment, guys, in everything that you do will take you to the next level. So that's why every time you are in nursing school, whether it's the RN associate program or the RN bachelor's program, or if you're in an MSM program, FMP program, DMP program, they will continue to mention judgment to you because your judgment is what will help you. Let me tell you, you can try and study every single thing, even in med school, but if you don't use your coconut, you will not be successful. Because the thing is, you'll be in a hospital, especially if you work ER, right? And you get presented with cases that you've never seen before. You've never read before. Your teacher never presented it. You will just have complete no clue of what it is. So what you have to do is apply all of the things you've learned to that situation so that you can uniquely figure out the problem and figure out a solution. So the thing is, if you don't know how to use this coconut to judge, okay, this patient came in, they broke their finger. Have you seen in nursing book a specific diagnosis, broke finger is broken? Maybe now they have it, but I haven't seen something like that. You might see laceration, you might see abrasion, you might see fracture, but it might be general. So what do you do when you have a fracture? How do you take care of a fracture of something? You see what I'm saying? Do you mobilize first? How do you take care of certain things? So you have to use your judgment. That is what the NCLEX is all about. You will be presented with things you have never seen before. But so far as you're able to use your judgment, that, oh, I recollect that when there was a fracture in this book, this is what they did first. So use that same thought to apply to that question. Don't overthink it, because when you overthink in the NCLEX and you try to give yourself your own answers, that's when you fail. They don't want you to overthink. It is what is evidence-based practice. Used, tried, tested, and approved. That's what the NCLEX wants you to do. Use your judgment to apply to what has been evidence-based practiced. That is what they want you to do on the NCLEX. So if you are presented with a situation that has to do with fracture, that has to do with laceration, that has to do with a gestational pregnancy and how you're going to take care of placenta previa or something like that, they might give you a scenario that you've never seen before. But the main topic is, how do you take care of a patient who has placenta previa and is bleeding? You've seen it before, right? What do? You answer what you used to see in the past, what you are familiar with, and what you know is the right answer, because there has been evidence-based practice on it. Don't overthink it, right? That is how you answer NCLEX RN questions. Confidence, collective memory, and your judgment. Now, let me just add in there the airway, breathing, circulation. I think now they have changed the breathing, airway, circulation, something like that. But when I was in school, it was airway, breathing, circulation. So whenever you have situations that have to do with death or life, think of that. You need to make sure somebody is breathing. If the person is not breathing, there's nothing you can do to the person. It's common sense. So you need to make sure the person is breathing. How is their airway? Are they breathing okay? You have to make sure all of that is taken care of first before you move on to the next, right? So all of those things need to come into play. So when you're answering NCLEX RN questions, always think about that. Death, life. You see what I'm saying? What do I do first? I need to assess, is this person breathing or isn't the person not breathing? The person not breathing, what can I do? So if the person is still breathing, then you go there and you move on to the next, right? Okay, so that's how we answer NCLEX RN questions. Again, confidence, collective memory, and judgment. That is your rule or your rules. Okay, if you have any more questions for me, feel free to ask them down below. I will be so happy to help you through this journey. I make these videos for you. I'm going to come on a, I can't say daily basis because I get very busy, but I'll come here more often as we prepare to get towards the NCLEX season. NCLEX usually is between, after around summertime when people graduate, around like June, July, August. And then now you have like those who graduate December, who will be taking their NCLEX, let's say February, March, April. So we're in that NCLEX season, you know. So I really recommend to you, if you know anybody who's about to take the NCLEX, who maybe has tried taking the NCLEX once or two times, send them over here because I have great advice. Like I always say, I wasn't the number one NCLEX, I wasn't the number one nursing student when I was going to nursing school because I had other plans. I honestly was supposed to become a lawyer, but then, you know, through redirection of life and everything, I decided, you know what, let me become a nurse. And I think it was one of the greatest decisions I've made in my life. So when I was going through nursing school, things weren't so easy for me because my background when I was in high school was more into like literature, you know, like history, you know, geography, those kind of things. So even though geography has nothing really to do with law, but, you know, I was more into those type of things like history, English, and all of that. And so getting into the science world of things was a bit of a big jump for me. So in the beginning, I was struggling. I'm going to be honest with you, like pharmacology, pathophysiology, pharmacology, all of that was a push. But, you know, over time, with building confidence, building self-esteem, building courage, and knowing that I could do anything I could put my mind to, I was able to pass. And when I passed, although it was tough, I ended up getting things right and passing the NCLEX on the first try. Whilst I know people who were doing so great in their classes, and unfortunately for them, they took the NCLEX 2-3 times before they passed. So it's a thing about strategy a little bit with the NCLEX. It's not all about what you like, the content. It's about the strategy because they want to be sure that when you're going out to practice, you can use your coconuts. It's not just the book thing that you will be, you know, some people are so book smart, but they can't apply what they've learned. So you need to make sure that whatever you are learning, you can apply it directly to any situation and scenario that is presented to you at any point in time. So once again, thank you so much for stopping by. I leave you with so much love, so much peace, encouragement to you. Ciao, ciao.